We have previously discussed the requirements, eligibility and criteria to apply for certain further leave to remain applications in the UK. You can click on the video link somewhere here or in the description section below to watch that previous video. Well, welcome to today's video on the other FLR application. In this particular, we will be focusing on private life applications. Form FLR FP can be used to make an application based on your private life. You can also use this form to extend your visa if you are currently on a 10-year route to settlement. There is no age requirement for private life application. You can be an adult applicant or even a child applicant, and we will discuss each in turn in this video today. Before we dwell into today's topic, a quick intro. I am Yash Dubal, Managing Director at AY&J Solicitors. We are an SRA regulated legal 500 firm with over a decade in UK immigration, winning multiple awards, serving 4,000 plus clients and having 1,200 positive reviews. We are here to help you. So let's look at the agenda 1, which is a private life adult applicants, where the applicants is age 18 or over on the date of application. They must show that they have been continuously resident in the UK for more than 20 years, or they have been in the UK for less than 20 years, but there would be very significant obstacles to the applicant's integration into the country where they would have to live if required to leave the UK. So let's look at the case study. Let's name it applicant C, entered the UK in 2002. The applicant did not return to their home country and resided in UK for over 20 years. The applicant had previously submitted an FLR application based on private life, but that application was refused. The Home Office were not satisfied that the applicant had entered the UK in 2002 and that they had been continuously residing in the UK since then. Due to this, the applicant approached us for help in applying for FLR based on their private life. What we did, we advised the client on the specific requirements for this application. We provided him with in-depth checklist that was bespoke for him that would demonstrate his continuous residence in the UK. We helped him gather all the necessary documents as a proof of residency in the UK, and although the applicant had been in the UK for over 20 years, for further support the applicants, we advised the applicant to provide documentation to show that there are significant problems living in their country of origin as well. After collecting all the required documentation and information, we drafted and submitted applicant's application. Additionally, we also prepared a legal representation to reinforce how the applicant had satisfied all the requirements and submitted all relevant documentation. As a result, the applicant was successfully granted FLR and expressed the satisfaction with our services. Now let's look at the case study 2, where the applicant entered the UK in 2007 on visit visa and did not return to home country. The applicant had made several previous applications, but all of them were refused. The applicant did not meet the residency requirement of 20 years. Now the applicant approached us to help with his application through private life. What we did is we advised him that he doesn't meet the rules and that he would need to show that there are significant obstacles for his integration into his home country. The applicant explained the condition in his home country, following which we provided a checklist which was bespoke for his circumstances. We helped gather all the necessary documents as a proof of his exceptional circumstances, and then after we collected all the required documentation and information, we drafted again full application for him and we prepared a legal representation to highlight how the applicant had satisfied all the requirements and submitted the relevant documentation. As a result, the applicant was successfully granted for the leave to remain. Now let's look at another scenario where there is a private life child applicants, where the applicant is under 18 at the date of application. The following requirement must be met. The number 1 is the applicant must have been continuously residing in the UK for at least 7 years, and the decision maker must be satisfied that it would not be reasonable to expect the applicant to leave the UK. If the child was born in the UK and has been residing in the UK for 7 years, they may be eligible for indefinite leave to remain straight away. Our expert team can assess your circumstances and advise you whether your child is eligible for indefinite leave to remain instead of further leave to remain, which is FLR route. So let's look at the case study. We had a client who was under 18 at the date of application, and her family and fathers were dependent. Unfortunately, the family were unable to renew their leave, so they went on to become an overstayer. So applicant's father approached us and asked us to advise to regularize their status in the UK. We advised that the family could make an further leave to remain application based on the fact that the eldest child had had been residing in the UK for more than 7 years. So we emphasize that although she had been resident in the UK for more than 7 years, we would also need to show that it's unreasonable for her to leave the UK. We provided again an in-depth bespoke checklist for the family's circumstances, collated all the information and document, drafted a very comprehensive application, and then prepared comprehensive legal representation to support the application. Although the applicant had satisfied the requirements, we still emphasize the child's dependency on her family, and that's unreasonable for parents to leave the UK. As a result, the applicant and her entire family were granted FLR, which is further leave to remain. So now let's look at the agenda 3, which is the private life young adults. So the young adult may take an FLR, further leave to remain application under private life if they meet the following requirement, which is the applicant is age 18 or over and also less than 25 years old at the time of application, arrived in the UK before the age of 18 and spent at least half of their life continuously in the UK. So let's solidify your understanding with a case study. We had a client, he entered the UK when he was 11, been residing in the UK since then. He approached us to regularize his status in the UK. The applicant was over the age of 24 and therefore he was not eligible to make an application as a child dependent despite residing in the UK for continuous 7 years. So we advised him to make an application as a young adult as he has spent more than half of his life in the UK. We emphasize the importance of making an application as soon as possible as he was to soon turn 25, and once he had turned 25, this route to settlement would not longer be available to him. Prepared his full application and a comprehensive legal representation, submitted to the Home Office, and he was granted a leave to remain under private life route as a young adult. So in today's video, we covered a few examples of private life applications under FLR, further leave to remain, and its requirements, eligibility and criteria relevant to the specific applications. The forms can be tricky and difficult to understand at times, and applying under the wrong form could impact your future migration plans to remain in the UK. So some of the routes are also time sensitive, so you have to be a bit careful. So always seek professional advice wherever possible. Do you need help? If yes, contact us on this number which is on your screen, or fill a short inquiry form which is in the description section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell button for more content on life in the UK test.